What's up, guys? Back with another video. This one is the mysterious disappearance of Frederick Valentich, or Valentich. I'm not really sure how to say his last name. But yeah, it was a pretty big case back in 1978, I believe. And yeah, he basically got abducted by aliens. According to the sources, it was a cigar-shaped object, which, as I've mentioned in earlier videos, based on my research into ancient Sumeria, the cigar-shaped UFOs have been connected with the Anunnaki, so that's kind of scary. Anyway, this particular video of the case that I'm about to show you, I found on, as much as I don't really like BuzzFeed, but you know, they always just try and make fun of shit. You know, it's kind of annoying as a UFO researcher of 17 years. Just, you know, it's just a good example of the ridicule that, you know, we face all the time when we talk about aliens and stuff. But I mean, they do have a lot of the facts of this particular case. So yeah, I just figured I'd show you guys this, and we'll have a bit of a talk about it later. Or I'll pause it now and then through the video if I want to add in some stuff. But yeah, and also don't forget to, if you're a fan, or I mean, if you're if you're into UFOs and aliens and you like this kind of content, don't forget to smash that subscribe button. Chuck a like and a comment, and I'll be replying to pretty much all the comments. So yeah, I look forward to seeing you in the comment section, and here we go with the video.
Case is the abduction of Frederick Valentich. This case is a little different from the others in that the abducted person never returned. On October 21st, 1978, at 6:19 p.m., instructor pilot Frederick Valentich began the flight from Moorabbin Airport in Victoria, Australia to King Island, Tasmania, over the Bass Strait in a Cessna 182L. His destination was only about an hour away. Visibility was good, and there were only light winds. Valentich, 20 years old at the time, reportedly wanted to get more flight hours in. Valentich made contact with Steve Roby at Air Traffic Control in Melbourne between 7:06 and 7:12 p.m. During the transmission, Valentich asked whether there was any known aircraft in his area. After Air Traffic Control said there was not, Valentich claimed a large unknown aircraft was flying about 1,000 feet above him at a fast speed with 4 bright lights. Valentich then reportedly said, quote, "It seems to be playing some sort of game. He's flying over me. It's not an aircraft," end quote.
What does he mean by it's not an aircraft?
It didn't look like any aircraft he'd ever seen before.
Okay.
Pretty.
Oh, he's saying like it doesn't look like an airplane?
Yeah, I mean, like, he's also probably not thinking through his words right now. He's seeing a fucking alien ship.
You always
above
go
him.
with this. They're not thinking about their words.
Because they're not. There's an alien in front of you. You're not going to be the most well-spoken you've ever been in front of an alien.
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
He continued to describe the craft, saying, quote, "It seems like it's stationary. What I'm doing right now is orbiting, and the thing is just orbiting on top of me. Also, it's got a green light and sort of metallic. It's shiny on the outside. It's just vanished," end quote. His last message around 7:12 p.m. to Air Traffic Control was, quote, "Melbourne, that strange aircraft is hovering on top of me again. It is hovering, and it's not an aircraft," end quote. After 17 seconds of silence, there was a loud sound of metal scraping. Authorities are said to have searched the area for 4 days, but found nothing, and Valentich was never seen again.
What do you think of the 17 seconds of silence and then just metal sounds?
I love it.
It's horrifying.
It's great.
It's honestly, like, reading that gave me chills.
Yeah, it's good.
So wait a second, I'm just confused because normally at this point, I'm used to wanting to rip your head off. But right now, we are in agreement that this is pretty plausible.
I think I'm just very discerning with my abduction stories. Like I said, I do believe in aliens, but I don't believe that most people, I'm not buying a lot of the encounters that people describe, because a lot of times they don't, it seems like they're either trying to cash in or they're just insane. But this I don't know.
What are you
know,
cashing in for if you disappear
What do you
forever?
cash in for if you disappear forever?
In May 1982, the Aircraft Accident Investigation Summary's cause of the accident read, quote, "The reason for the disappearance of the aircraft has not been determined," end quote. A. Woodward, the man who signed off on the report, offered pure, unfiltered speculation that Valentich could have been disoriented, suicidal, or even the victim of a meteorite crash.
Meteorites don't hover over.
It wasn't an alien, he got hit by a meteor.
It was a big fireball. I seen it.
No, what the fuck? You don't disprove something that's unbelievable by something that's even more unbelievable. Also, we would have records of a meteorite crashing and hitting the fucking Earth.
One alternate theory comes from a feature story in a 2013 issue of Skeptical Inquirer. The story mentions that Valentich was inexperienced as a pilot and had supposedly been cited twice for deliberately flying blind into a cloud. According to another source, Valentich was reportedly fascinated with UFOs and even had a UFO scrapbook with him when he disappeared.
Okay, never mind.
Oh, I was waiting for the other shoe to drop.
This is what happened. This has happened a couple other times.
Yeah.
You always present a very, you get the case presented in a way that makes me say, all right.
There's strong rhetoric to build up to that, right?
Yeah, you do a pretty good job of that. And then you throw something like this in, like, he was obsessed with UFOs and wrote fan fiction about himself dying at the hand of a UFO.
I did not say that. I said reportedly fascinated with UFOs.
The publication Skeptical Inquirer posits that Valentich's experience.
Just gotta pause it right there real quick. Like, just because someone's, interested in UFO. Hang on, move my microphone down. Just because someone's interested in UFOs, it doesn't automatically discredit them. That's the sort of bullshit that, that's all part of the cover-up. They try and find all these little things that they can say, oh, well, this guy's into UFOs and aliens, he must be lying about it. I mean, I'm into UFOs and aliens, but I'm not lying about any of the videos that I upload, and especially now, like, the US Navy, Pentagon, and CIA have all come forth and admitted that they're real already, and that was like last year, so yeah, it's a good example of the amount of fucking ridicule and shit that us UFO researchers have to go through. Like, it's all part of the job, really. I mean, I've gotten to the point, now 17 years since I started, it's I just see it everywhere, and it's just it's so annoying as an actual UFO researcher to have to deal with all that shit. But I mean, it's all part of the job, and at the moment, I really couldn't give a fuck. It's like, yeah, whatever. People can make fun of it or whatever. I really don't care. But I mean, it still kind of annoys me a bit.
Was some mixture of wanting to see something, being easily led to believe that anything he didn't recognize was a UFO, becoming disoriented, and or mistaking stars and the Cessna's own lights as lights from another object.
They discredit him a fair amount.
I don't think
Not
so.
entirely. I still find it convincing. I mean, I find it intriguing because the plain UFO encounters are always the most convincing to me.
However, it should be mentioned that other sources contest that Valentich was an experienced pilot. It's also worth noting that the Cessna 182 planes were designed to float in the case of a water landing. Historian Reg Watson has also found numerous reports of UFO sightings, including reports of cigar-shaped lights seen near King Island, Australia, for 2 months prior to Valentich's disappearance.
There you go, cigar-shaped UFOs. That's what we were talking about earlier, which are linked to the Anunnaki, and you can clearly see them right there. They're not the usual disc-shaped. They're, elongated, thinner around the middle section. They basically look like flying cigars. And yeah, I mean, there's drawings of these particular UFOs in ancient Sumerian texts. Like, if you look, all you have to do is just do some digging on ancient Sumeria and the text and all that, and you'll see them. You'll see them in the clay tablets and stuff. And yeah, just I'll probably do a series on ancient Sumeria at some point, like going through all of like what I have read in the past. Well, maybe not all of it because there's a lot, but I'll maybe do some videos on that in the future. But yeah, that's also another reason why you gotta, smash that subscribe button, and also hit that notification bell so that you're updated on whenever I upload new videos, because you might miss something.
A farmer allegedly saw a craft flying over his land near Adelaide the morning after Valentich vanished. He claimed that Valentich's plane was stuck to the side of the craft. Furthermore, one of the last pieces of information on record was Valentich reaching Cape Otway at 7 p.m. Here's a photograph taken off Cape Otway 20 minutes before Valentich vanished that shows a strange shape in the sky.
Let's see the picture.
All right. Here we go. Right there. See?
What are we looking at here?
That's the sky, and that's the weird object. If this is legit, this corroborates.
But
the
this also
timeline.
doesn't look like a UFO either, does it?
Well, we don't really know what a UFO looks like, do we?
Looks like some like God spit out his gum.
Sure, but
Like, really? Oh. See, things like that just piss me off. You know, that stupid guy on the left. I like the Asian dude. He's alright, you know. But the other guy, really, God spit out his gum. Like, what the fuck? You know, what? So that's more believable to you than an advanced alien race? And, it's just... see that, that's the sort of shit that really just annoys me as a UFO researcher, you know? That's why I don't really watch BuzzFeed that often, but, I mean, they did have this particular case that I wanted to show you guys, the disappearance of Fred Valentich, and yeah, so, thankfully there's not too much longer of putting up with their bullshit.
you saying this doesn't really look like a UFO is exactly the same thing as saying like, oh, this doesn't look like a lava monster.
But
because we don't know what a lava monster looks like. We don't know what a UFO looks like. They're apparently made up. So until we see definitive proof, I think that this is a very strong case if this happened.
And you're welcome to think that.
Oh my God.
That's fine.
Ultimately, nobody can say for sure if aliens are real, let alone alien abductions. Until we procure solid physical evidence beyond eyewitness testimony, the lore behind aliens and abduction will likely remain just that, lore. Hopefully one day we'll have a definitive answer, but for now, whether or not aliens abduct humans will remain unsolved.
Okay, so that's basically the end of it there. So yeah, I mean, it's definitely a very interesting case. And the guy was never seen again. I mean, they didn't find his plane, they didn't find his body, and he was abducted by a cigar-shaped UFO, clearly. I mean, yeah, that to me says that he was abducted by the Anunnaki. But yeah, I mean, you know, what do you guys reckon? You know, like, say what you think happened in the comments of this video. Check a like, smash that like button, smash that subscribe button, and I'll see all of you in the next video.